What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, and today we're going to be installing a BAKFlip MX4 on my Ram 1500. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is unpack this box and show everybody what came in it. Alright, so there's not much to the contents of this box. You have the bed cover, you have two long rails, and basically a bag of hardware. These long rails are going to slide directly on top of the stock rails that come on the Ramboxes bed silver rails, as you can see here. They say that you can use some soapy water or some other lubricant to actually slide these on a lot easier. Along with that, you're going to put a weatherproofing strip across the back, and then basically you're going to mount the bed cover to the top of that. You also have to add in some hardware and some drainage, but other than that, that's basically the idea of what we have to do. Once the rails were in, what I did is that I hooked up the drainage tubes, and those were a little bit difficult to get on. It makes it a lot easier if you actually twist them as you push them on. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to have those come down and you're going to put them into the holes in the side of the bed. You're going to do that on each side to make sure that any water that gets up in the rail will drain properly without getting the water into the bed. From there, we're going to have to clean this back area where the weather strip is going to go down, again to prevent water from getting into the bed. So you can see I'm using isopropyl alcohol to clean it, and then I'm going to lay down the strip. The strip is a cut to size, so it's going to be a little bit longer. So if you have a good razor blade or something along those lines, you'll be able to cut it down to size. Next, we have to put the buckle ends on. So first, we're going to lay down a sticker that comes with it, which again is waterproofing, so that the buckle end actually fits tight and water can't get through to the two holes that actually bolt it in. There's an insert that fits underneath and then a screw that goes on top. There's two for each one on each side. So this is for the strap that's actually used to hold it down if you have it halfway open to make sure that the wind or anything else doesn't flip it back closed. The next step is to fit the bed cover onto the rails. So you can see two of us doing this. It's much easier with two people due to the size. From there, you're supposed to open the bed cover fully, which I did not do. I actually started bolting it down immediately, which isn't what they recommend. However, it works. The one thing is that you shouldn't bolt it down all the way so that you have a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that it fits flush on both sides all the way down. Once you have it bolted down, make sure that you open it and that everything is fitting properly. One thing to note is that where the bed cover meets the mounting plates, there's actually some kind of soft sticker material that's on there. It's almost like a weather stripping, but I think it's there to prevent scratching from when the bed cover touches that plate. That cover does not have a hole in it for the bolt, so you need something sharp to actually poke a hole to get your bolt through there. Once you're happy with the fitment of the bed cover, you're going to open it one more time and do one last final tightening down to make sure that that bed cover isn't going to move around. From there, we need to attach the rubber bumpers so that when you open up the cover fully and it goes against the window, it's going to basically press up against the window, and you want those bumpers there to protect your window and to protect the cover. So you'll see what I do is that I actually clean it down with the isopropyl alcohol again, because these are just stickers that stick on, and you'll see that I evenly space them. So I measure it out and evenly space them. From there, what you're going to want to do is completely open that bed cover and put it up against the window. Make sure that those strips are in the proper spot. Let them just kind of sit against there to make sure that they seat properly. You're also going to want to test the buckles and everything else, open and close it a few times. And once you're happy, also make sure that you can close the back and that everything is fitted properly, and then you're good to go. Here, I'm just showing the gap between the tailgate and the bed that the MX4 cover does not actually cover. That means when it rains, rain will get into the bed and the corners here. One of the great features of the MX4 is that you still have full use of the Ramboxes, which I'm showing here. Because of that rail that slides in and the way that the MX4 bed cover sits, the Ramboxes open without actually touching the cover or anything else. So after having the MX4 on my truck for only about 24 hours, we did get some rain. I would say it was a normal rainstorm, nothing that heavy, but also it wasn't that light either. So what I wanted to see was how much rain came in those gaps between the tailgate and the bed, which you can see here as I look around. The water comes in, it's not significant. If you had things in the bed, it would have been okay. I was more worried that there is some dripping coming down the side, but it's not too bad. But what happened about a day later is that we did get a very significant storm, which you can see here, where we actually got hail also, which was pretty crazy. So the day after this storm, I went out there also, and there is significantly more water in here, and you can actually see it's puddled in the back of the bed, which means, from what I can see, it looks like where the drainage was, the drains were just too small to let the amount of water through that was coming down, and that actually overflowed somehow into the bed and caused that problem. So I don't think any of these covers are 100% perfect. I also think that this storm that came through was out of the ordinary. However, I did want to put this up so that you could see what happened. This was within the first few days of actually having the cover on. Even with that out of the ordinary storm, I think that the MX4 is a great bed cover. The install was extremely easy, utilizing the existing rails that came on the truck with the Ramboxes, and the Ramboxes still fully function. It sits flush, and it's extremely strong, being able to support up to 400 pounds. I look forward to giving a review in 6 months to a year to let everybody know how it's doing.